Radio Corex, les corridors d'exportation de la FCCQ. Votre marché est plus grand que vous ne le pensez.
Bonjour tout le monde. Quand il est question d'exporter, la question du financement des transactions peut devenir stratégique. C'est un des rôles que joue Exportation et Développement Canada, EDC, qui, de ce fait, comprend bien la dynamique des marchés. J'ai au bout du fil M. Robert Pelletier. M. Pelletier est Chief Representative United States International Business Development at EDC. Hello, Mr. Pelletier.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Just as a matter of knowing you better, could you explain what is your role at EDC, please?
Absolutely. So my role is to look to support Canadian companies that are looking to make that first export step into the U.S. And the role really is a matter of both looking to help the Canadian companies domestically with some things that we do at EDC, and it's also helping to open up markets and to find new connections for companies into the United States.
To your knowledge and with your experience, are there still interesting sectors in the United States for Quebec-based company that would want to export?
Absolutely, and I think it's a really good place to start, and I think that a couple of the sectors that we see with a lot of opportunity that come to mind, given the expertise in Quebec, the first one that clearly comes to mind is aerospace.
Of course.
So, we know of the significant, not only sort of the large players in the assembly, the OEM type companies, but we also have supply chains that flow into those companies. So we see quite a bit of opportunity in that sector, sort of across the United States, working with other companies in the aerospace sector. I think the other two that come to mind are tech. And when I say tech, that could be clean tech as well as, information communication technology. So, biotech, there's a lot of strengths and a lot of innovative Quebec companies that have products that are looking for a home. And I think that, innovation and the ability to find new products and new ways of doing things is something that's very well received, and where there's quite a bit of opportunity across sectors in the United States. So that's one that's key. And the last I would say is consumer goods. So, I know that the consumer goods industry in Quebec is extremely strong with food products and all sorts of different retail consumer goods. And I think, given the economic rebound in the U.S. over the last couple of years, it's created new spaces, new time for companies to sell into that supply chain and into those markets.
Yeah, we've been talking to entrepreneurs in the food business who are very keen exporting and trying to grab some market share in the United States, and it looks like they are succeeding. It's not very always very easy, but they are doing it. You think there's still an open market, though?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll give an example that I was recently at a trade commissioner service-led mission in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So my counterparts that work in the Canadian Trade Commissioner organized what they called the Taste of Canada, and what it was companies from across Canada that were producing new innovative products that retailers in the United States might be interested in carrying on their shelves or distributing. So those sorts of events highlight the fact that there are those retail channels. I think the advice I could perhaps provide is really scale. Is that as companies are looking to make that move, you want to make sure that the retailer or the distributor that you're working with, it makes sense for you from a scale perspective in terms of your ability to produce for them. So, for example, find a retailer that has a number of stores that would be sort of compatible with your production abilities. Those sorts of things. So that's one thing I think that is both an opportunity and also one where do a little research in terms of the markets where you think this is making the most sense for you.
So suppose I am an entrepreneur. I'm interested in diversifying my market. I'm looking south to the United States. Where should I start? Are there any U.S.-based institutions that could help me?
Absolutely. There's plenty. I was on a recent roadshow in Alberta, actually, and what it was a collection of institutions that work in the space. So, institutions like logistics companies that can provide you advice in terms of actually exporting, the sort of rules of engagement and the paperwork, which is the nasty part of that. Tax specialists, that understand sort of as you grow your business in the U.S., what that means for you as a company in Canada. Logistics providers, legal advice. Canadian Trade Commissioners also are a really, really key resource for us. So I believe there's 18 representations across the United States. So if you have a particular region in mind that you're looking at, I would certainly recommend reaching out to them in that market because they also have networks on the ground in that market that can help grow that. And of course, there's the U.S.-based trade commissioners that are located across Canada. So U.S. government officials, Department of Commerce, that can help and help find those networks to make those connections and ultimately export.
And precisely with EDC, what kind of tools do you have? What kind of help could you provide to these people or to myself if I decide one day try to expand in the United States?
Well, that's where we come in to help, and I think that's a terrific question. And I think that as much as we like to provide advice and provide some networks, and that's important, but once those exports start happening, they require support. So there's several tools. One of them that we see often is accounts receivable insurance. So we provide coverage. So if you land that contract somewhere in the United States and you're concerned about repayment or for whatever reason you want to manage the risk, we can provide coverage to make sure that you get paid back. That's one thing. Another important thing is domestically, so as Quebec-based companies are growing. So I talked about that example where a retailer is interested in your product, you have to produce more, and that might mean adding machinery, adding equipment. Well, EDC can help there too. So we partner with Canadian banks to provide additional working capital to support export contracts like that. So that's something that we can do. So that's more of a financing type product. The other thing we get asked about quite a bit in the U.S. is foreign exchange. So obviously the changes in the Canadian dollar relative to the U.S. it makes a lot of newspaper headlines, but it's also a real concern for companies. So although we don't provide foreign exchange hedging per se, what we do is we provide coverage to if a Canadian company decides that they want to engage in that foreign exchange risk maintenance with their bank, we can help cover that too. So those are some of the main reasons or main ways that we help. And the last thing I'll say is buyer financing. So if you were to win a bigger contract in the United States, that buyer in the U.S. may require financing support. And so what we can do is provide financing to that U.S.-based company who in turn can use those funds to buy your goods from Canada.
You were talking about headlines. People read the paper, they listen to the radio, television. Regarding in regard of the political climate in the United States these days, is it still very interesting? Are there any concerns about the openness of the market right now?
That's a great question. I think that as political cycles go, certainly trade is a subject that comes up oftentimes and used perhaps for political gains or losses or what have you. I think that my opinion is that at the end of the day, the longstanding trade agreement and trade relationship between Canada and the U.S. isn't going to change. In fact, it's growing significantly. So I think irrespective of the party of the day or the government of the day, the underlying reality is that there's needs across both borders for trade, and how we accomplish that might be impacted by some of these events. But ultimately, we're looking at today with I think a Three Amigos visit in Ottawa. So there's a real understanding of that cross-border cooperation. I mean, I'll give an example. In the Great Lakes region alone, if you were to view the Great Lakes states and provinces as one economic entity, it would be the third largest economy in the world. So that gives you a sense of sort of the codependence and reliance on each other trading across borders. So I think what we do at EDC, and I imagine my advice, I suppose, would be for companies looking to cross into the U.S. from an export perspective, is to really take a medium to long-term view, and that's not only for political reasons but also for sector. That these things have a way of going in cycles, and sometimes you're in a uncertain cycle, and other times you're in a boom. So it's really to take that long-term view and to make sure that we make decisions that sort of suit that the view as well as the sort of the needs of your company.
So, Monsieur Pelletier, let's hope that you're right and it will be more a boom than a downside. Thank you so much for participating with Radio Corex today, and thank you, and have a very good day, sir.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Merci.
Radio Corex, les corridors d'exportation de la FCCQ. Votre marché est plus grand que vous ne le pensez.